We'll talk. We'll talk for real people.
Real people.
That's it. That's the jingle right there.
That is
I'm going on the phone to
stuff.
Dre right now.
And this is Will Talk 7.
We'll
That's
talk
right.
7.
WT7.
Yeah.
So on the talk today, I've updated this so it's a bit easier for you viewers to see, but we're going to start off with the S20 unboxing, which our good friend Jack here is currently displaying right now. You can also watch this video on his channel, of course. Followed by the Begode Master. We're going to just give a quick overview of what's to be expected when it comes out. Next is the EX2S and where eRide sits in terms of that kind of release. And our watch winner, we've actually pulled one out of the hat to actually give just a review of their video and actually show it to all of you guys. And finally, we'll do a little memorial for Daniel from Lazy Rolling. So yeah. This is the S20 Eagle that which we've been looking forward to for nigh on months now.
It feels like this was the first wheel that got me really excited, and it's been so long in the thing that, you know, there's all these other wheels that we've started talking about, and now I can see it in real life, and I'm like, oh, there it is. It's still the prettiest looking wheel to me.
To you, yeah.
To
I think, you know what? I think it's the original, you know, outstanding looking wheel of 2021 that was released, and I think there have been other, I won't say copycats, but I would say other wheels that aspire to be like it. And it still looks amazing. I actually think it looks even better in these videos. You know, shout out to Electric Dreams, Jack. You know, he's doing an awesome job. So go and check out his YouTube channel, where I'm sure you'll be releasing more videos of the S20. But yeah, Jack did an awesome work in terms of the unboxing and explaining some of the little small detail that we may have missed. Here and there. Now it's beautiful. Look at it. It's so beautiful.
It is
it's
really
so much more robust than the S18, but I still have doubts around those lights. I don't know if there's a fall. Are those lights going to stay on, or are they going to just, you know, splinter away? Maybe they're actually designed to splinter away, but they look like they'll come off easily in a crash. But they look a lot brighter than I thought they'd be. To be fair.
Yeah. And also one other thing as well is the light at the back. I want to find out if those lights actually turn red when you're riding, because it's obviously looking.
You don't want an emergency services, do you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. That as well. Obviously, in the UK, we've got blue lights, right, for the emergency services. So you shouldn't have that at the back. You want to have red lights at the back. So I'll ask Kingsong to clarify that.
Yeah, it's probably customizable in the app, no doubt.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, got a detachable seat there, and I know it's got the space for the screen, so they've obviously took that into account.
And it looks like it's really nice and small, so it looks like you'll be able to sling it in your rucksack and then not really have a problem with this big bulky thing, because some of the other seats are quite bulky, aren't they?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but you make a good point. Sometimes I don't want to have the seat there.
And what we've got here,
can you see that?
Can you pause it there?
I can. Absolutely.
This is a bit that we were like, oh.
Yeah, like, what is that? What are those?
What are those?
How many pins did we decide we can see, boys?
That is 6 pins, not 5. Obviously, 5 is 100, but this is 6 charge port over there, and there's 2 of them. Yeah. You know, I don't think anybody has actually spoken about how many pins.
He's frozen.
Have we lost him? It's not me this time. So what he was saying is nobody's spoken about having these dual charging ports, which are 6 pins.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous.
And that's something that we picked up. You've frozen now. I've gone, haven't I?
No, you're fine. Is it just me? Everybody's freezing.
No, we're here. I thought you'd frozen.
He's frozen.
I'm here.
Is he going to come back? We'll give him a second, because he's got a good looking froze face, so it's fine. We'll just Leaving it.
So how fast do you reckon this would charge?
Oh, he's gone. He's completely gone.
Completely left. He'll be back.
He'll
We'll
be
be fine.
back.
We can do this.
Yeah. I think this is going to charge in about, I'd say, from 0 to 100. I mean, which you don't really get to 0, but anyway, I'd say we do. I'd say probably with both of them charging, I'd say under 5 hours.
That's amazing.
I'd imagine. I mean, that's what I think with both ports being used, if that is a second port, of course.
Yeah.
Would you say under 5 hours of fees for both ports?
Yeah. Well, I'll just be making a guess now. Really,
depends on what your charger is, of course.
Exactly. So I was going to say as well. It depends on how powerful your charger is, right? You know, if you're charging at 8 amps each, I'm not quite sure what is the maximum amps this wheel can take. I know that Begode are now limiting their wheels to 6 amp maximum charging.
Six each if it was 2, or 6 in total?
I think it's 6 in total, you know,
right?
Because they come with 3 amps from the factory, and if you double that, then that's 3, right? So I think it's 6 in total. So if this can go higher than that, that would definitely help. And it's a 2,200 watt-hour battery. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. In
the video that Jack's shown, I trimmed it, but he basically displayed the charger that comes with this wheel, which I think is a 5 volts. So in theory, would that be 2 5s that would plug into this? But
I'm hoping so. So that means that'll be 10 amps. If you get which is
10 amps
fast.
So that would be easy, fast enough, and but that with that capacity, I'd say 5 hours with both of them. I'd guess. So looking forward to it. I think it's going to be definitely one that was worth the wait, and it's got little novelty touches here, like the stand, which is
I like that.
It's a handy touch. I think that's something that all wheels should have. And as well as the aesthetics and the build quality, it looks pretty decent. So
it does. It looks really slick and really lovely, doesn't it? It's one of those wheels that when it goes past you, you're going to know exactly which wheel it is. There's no question. When you see that flash of red zigzag, you're going to know it's like, Eagle One.
I mean, it's pretty quick as well. It's supposed to
quicker than Feezy's internet speed. Anyone there?
Can you hear me, by the way? Guys,
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
definitely
you.
quicker than my internet speed. The suspension, you should be able to replace the suspension as well. So that's a good thing to also notice. So if you want to upgrade to better suspension, not to say that this is not a good suspension, I'm sure it is. We've seen so many videos of people going up and down with this, but if you really want like Fox suspension, you can upgrade that.
So what would make suspension better? Would it be, well, tell me, what in your eyes makes suspension better? Good
question. So suspension EUCs are now becoming the it thing right now. So in terms of my knowledge of the suspension in general, you know, I don't have as much of that knowledge because I'm not from a mountain biking background. But there's a lot of things in terms of the travel of the suspension, in terms of the material, you know, the raw material that's being used to.
So you could change it for something which is a bit more durable.
Yes, exactly.
And last a bit longer. That kind of thing that if you wanted to change it, you might, and that's how it would upgrade. Yeah.
Now suspension, I've heard about suspension that can cost up to 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, maybe even more than that. And I'm sure there's some little bit of improvement here and there that make those prices worth it. But just to say that this suspension itself, from all feedback that I've been getting, people have never complained about this while they've been running S20, so it should be fine.
Excellent. So have we got anything else to talk about with the S20? Talking about the handle and
the height of the handle.
You know exactly what I'm doing there.
The magnetic thing that puts the motor into idle. So Jack kind of, I'm not sure if we can go back to the footage of Jack trying to
I think it's about halfway through, Paul.
Sure, let's give it a go.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's exactly where it is.
See that? So it seems like once you pick it up, right, and
That
the
red
handle is,
handle.
yeah, that red handle on the back, and it's right at the back, and you lift it up, you know, backwards, that disengages the motor. But then when you push it forward, and the motor then engages, and that also means that you can use both hands to pick up the front handle and that back motor, you know, that handle at the back that disengages the motor, and that then allows you to pick it up with both hands. You can, and it still has a decent trolley, which looks, in terms of the robustness of the trolley, the height of the trolley. However, Jack did say that if you're a tall person, then you're probably going to find it difficult. So that's something that, you know.
Yeah, but that's the first wheel that we've seen that has
not for me
disengage, isn't it? Like that.
Yeah.
So that's an innovation.
Yeah. What do you think of the adjustable power pads here, Rosie? I know you mentioned it before.
Yeah, I really like the idea of that, because I think it's really nice because you can let someone borrow your wheel, and you can move it up and down. Because I know that when I've been on other wheels and with different height power pads, it throws me off slightly. So being able to push them up and down would make it more comfortable, because obviously most of the time if I ride other people's wheels, they're not. The other people aren't as small as me. so that I like that, and I also like the idea of being able to share my wheel with someone, because it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for when we can get the first shipments through. And
so I mean, so the battery of the S20 should be arriving at E-Rides tomorrow. That's either tomorrow or 1st of February. So we're recording this on Sunday, right? So tomorrow is the 31st. And then the shell should be arriving not too far behind. We'll be away anyway. We're going on holiday, so we'll not be able to ride it. The engineer will probably have his hands on the S20 to disassemble it, you know, check out if there's anything that we need to be worried about before we start pushing for orders to come in. So Kevin, who's the engineer, probably ride the S20 before anybody else has. But yeah.
Don't crash it, Kev.
Yeah, don't crash it, Kev.
So what you did to Commander, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Kevin.
Hashtag there's a road there, it's break.
He just kept going, right? He couldn't stop.
It was a good thing. It was nice and early in the morning. So should we talk about the Begode Master then?
Indeed. This one's
the arch rival.
Yeah, the arch, exactly that, the arch rival. That's exactly what it is.
I have to say, when I first looked at these two images together, I had to go back and just double check that they weren't releasing two versions of the Eagle. I actually did, because and then I looked and I was like, no, completely different companies. But because that red, we've been fed the red with the Eagle, and it's now so iconic with the Eagle, having another thing the exact same red, it was I had to think about that. But what are the big differences?
Oh well, Paul, I'll go first, and then you can add anything that I've missed. So again, this is just my opinion, as a rider. I like wheels with torque and than speed. And the Master, the first thing that appealed to me about the Master was basically the free spin speed, which is 112 kilometers. Now, in any normal circumstances, what you do is you convert that to miles. I'm not sure how many miles that is. Paul, you can help me. I think that's 80 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, somewhere. All right. So normally be like, whoa, that's amazing. So what we then do is we subtract 10 miles an hour, and then that tells you what the realistic speed, if a normal average human being was to ride it. But this is a torque motor, not a speed motor. Like a C38 motor that can spin up to 112, which means the fact of the matter is because it's got so much power, is more likely to get closer to the advertised free spin speed, because it's got that power to get closer there. It's got torque, right? So this wheel here, realistically, could do 60 miles an hour plus, almost comfortably. And this is just speculation because it's got torque motor, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing about this wheel is, if you look at it very carefully, the pedal height is lower than the S20.
Yes, I was noticing that.
Exactly. So this is not really, I mean, you can take it off-road, right? But this is a street wheel. It's a street speedster. It's supposed to help you, smooth over the little small bumps that you're going to have on the street if you're in New York or wherever, right? And if Begode delivers on the Master, right, this will be the master of the universe in the EUC universe for a very long time.
Should have called it the He-Man, shouldn't you, right?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about this wheel. Like, if they get it right, and then if they then make the speed version of this wheel, then you get an 80 miles an hour, 70 plus miles per hour wheel, and that's just not healthy. Yeah, that's when it gets to the point where you go in about 70 miles an hour on a single wheel, and there might be a lot of people that might get hurt as a result of that.
Everyone will get hurt.
Yeah, so there's, like, literally, like, you might start, that's when it started to get a bit dicey. So it's exciting from an EUC enthusiast, right? But I'm still a little bit cautious for two reasons. One, it's too fast, that kind of stuff. You get younger audience that don't understand the responsibility that you need to take when you're riding a one-wheel device, but also because it's 134 volts, and traditionally, whenever there's a new platform, the first batches, you have to be very careful. There's bound to be some sort of issue. So while I'm very excited, I'm also consciously, just calming myself down a little bit and just like, okay, don't buy too much of Masters, right? Let the first batch come through. Let's see, right, how it goes. So yeah, there you go. So that's my take, Paul. Yeah, I'm very excited about Master. I'm sure you can tell.
I can definitely see. I mean, everybody's got that same kind of excitement, but there is a tepid excitement I've been seeing in the social channels, and the reason being is because you've got the Hero, then you've got the EX2S, or the EX, and then the EX2S, and then you've got this, and people were like, wait a minute, what's going on here? How have you got enough R&D to get all these wheels chugged out so quickly? Is this going to be safe with so many wheels crapped out so quickly? So people are looking at thinking, it looks like what you've done is you've like written on a piece of paper, here, let's get this out. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's not as good enough. And how about this? Instead of just drawing it out, you're actually building the things and then shipping it out. And then, whoa, it's too fast. It's like people are going to get worried, because it's like, how much proper testing have you done before being released to the public? And this is why Kingsong have that reputation of being a safety conscious company, although they are. But when it comes to this has been a long time in release, so people expect the S20 to be much more, out the box, good to go, it's ready. But these other ones that Begode are releasing seems a little rapid, so people are obviously going to raise eyebrows when the Hero was only out a few months ago, and now this is here. So it's like, that's the kind of questions which we're not going to know the answers to. But as you say, all we can do is test it. So
yeah.
And how does this? It's lighter, isn't it?
It's lighter.
It's much lighter than the EX2S, yes. So maybe that was feedback that people were getting, like, I can't touch that, it's 40 odd kilos. So people were like, all right, they're right, let's stream it back. But
you know what though? So Rose, I don't think you've ridden the Hero. Obviously, Paul, you've been away because of your injury, right? So I've ridden the Hero, it looks very, in terms of the platform wise, it looks like just built on the Hero platform. And I just put a much more powerful mainboard and stuff on different battery configuration. But the Hero speed is a great wheel. Now, I was riding with a bunch of Shermans, right? And we were riding together. And because I've got my additional suspension, I was able to actually go faster than them. because I'm not slowing down and hitting bumps.
Yeah.
I can hear some Shermans beeping behind me because every time I go over a bump and I get launched into the air, the wheel kind of free spin momentarily,
Yeah.
and then it come back down to earth, come back down to earth again. But because I got suspension that pushes my tire down, I always have, at least most of the time, I've got traction. So I never lose as much traction because of my suspension.
Yeah.
So the Master, based on my experience of the Hero Speed, if the Master is what based on the specs, it will be amazing. Like it will be just great. But that does not mean that the S20 wouldn't be amazing as well. It's just for a different type of audience. The X20 looks like it's got better suspension setup, which means if you want to go off-roading for recreational sport or whatever, put the wheel at the back of your car, go down to the mountain bike track or whatever, and have fun all day. Put it back in your car and come back home, and you're good. But if you want to ride on the street, that's fine. Yeah. What was I freezing there or something?
A little bit. But
you froze it. Go down to get the wheel in the back of your car. Go down to the beach and have. And I was tempted to say ice cream just before you.
I was gonna say skinny dipping, but
Oh, well, different logic. I know where your head's at. So
there you go.
Oh yeah. But
so do you have? Are you gonna get?
The Master. Okay, so again, as I said earlier, like I'm so excited, but I have to, as a rider, I just want to get the Master and just get it out there. But as a distributor, it is our responsibility to make sure that what we sell to our customers is been well tested, as Paul has obviously also noted as well. So we're going to get some Masters flown in, but production doesn't start until March of 2022 anyway. So get them flown in. Our engineer will do what he does best, understand if it's worth buying. If not, then we're not going to bother. But I'm hoping it is. I'm actually hoping Kevin doesn't find anything crazy about this, and then he gives us the okay, and then we then order them in. But yeah, so we're going to get two. We're going to have you, Rosie, have one for about a week or two, from a user's perspective, and then we're going to have a technical, and then we're going to have a technical analysis of the Master as well from Kevin, and then we can make a informed decision as a company.
Good. Right. Shall we move on?
The EX2S.
Yes.
Paul's favorite wheel.
This is not my favorite wheel. This is my favorite wheel if I don't want a gym membership.
Get some quads going.
So, yeah.
It looks really, really bulky, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah.
I cannot get over that net weight.
I know, it's just so heavy. That weighs nearly as much as I do.
That's heavy.
It really does.
Yeah,
that is heavy.
I mean, it looks like a good, comfortable ride, to be fair. And as you can see, it's got ridiculous torque going up a smooth surface like that, and with a 35-degree angle. But it's got a good spec. But that weight is, it's not what I feel an EUC should be for. So otherwise, you might as well go down a motorbike territory or get yourself a ball. But
and if you live in anywhere with stairs and no lift, like how are you gonna do that? Just how? It's not gonna work.
Maybe it's got enough torque to go up the stairs, which I wouldn't put it past it, because the V11 could do that. So
well, I'm not paying for tire tracks on the new carpet.
I mean, I'll tell you. So what will be interesting though is if Begode makes a 134-volt version of this with that battery, which is what, 360 compared to the 240 of the Master. And I think this will then be a formidable wheel. 100, because this is 100 volts, right? Still based on the old architecture, 100 volt. But still, if we were to increase that and move all the wheels to 134 volt, then things are going to get a bit interesting from a performance perspective.
Who do you think in the target audience would actually ride one of these though? Like, really, is it more designed for like a big, like fairly tall person, or
Yes.
yeah?
Well, I
So it's
mean,
is it like a monster replacement? Do you think, like that kind of?
I was, yeah, but then again, I mean, this is a 20-inch wheel. It's not 24-inch. But I think anyone with sufficient, skill set can ride any wheel. Right? Once you get the momentum going, right?
Yeah.
What we want to focus.
Why would I choose this wheel over the Master? That's
exactly, and that's the question. You need to think about your use case, right? Most people don't need wheels as heavy as this. Anything over 35 kilograms is already too heavy. 35, 36. I think that's a sweet spot. Sherman was just there. Any more than that would just become a bit unbearable. I don't know. Anybody that wants a long range, comfortable wheel, will go for this. They want to be able to go further, and I guess faster as well, because uncomfortably.
Do you think this is comparable to the Abrams? I'm just thinking weight-wise, because they're both very heavy wheels, and they look a similar size as well. They both look quite big, chunky wheels.
The Abrams is actually bigger than this wheel size, and has similar
rim tire.
Yeah, exactly. The diameter of it, right? But I mean, I've not ridden this wheel before, but I guess some people might prefer the torquiness of the Abrams. The Abrams is quite you accelerate quite quickly compared to any wheel around that size. But
it's quite nimble for a big wheel, isn't it?
Yeah, the Abrams is quite nimble for a big. I mean, you saw it doing a demo day, right? So these big guys they're like, I think, oh, that's a 45-kilogram wheel. Yeah, just go in. So I think, the Abrams is a very good big wheel, very well built as well. It's quite modular. It's easy to kind of service. I know that Kevin has been looking at my one, and his one has been looking at what we can order for parts just in case it breaks, and he's been happy with everything else on the Abrams so far. With this, on the other hand, I've seen some. Yeah, Paul, you might want to play some video of this as well, so I can show you the suspension. So that headlight as well is just pointing. I believe it's not adjusted. I believe it is not adjustable. I don't know. So whereas the Abrams one, you can move it up and down, right? Again, it shows that level of thinking during the production and manufacture and design stage as well of this two companies. I mean, listen, Begode, to me, I feel like maybe it seems like they're a bit reactive. They're just doing something to stay.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
Agreed.
So
agreed. And I keep talking about it, but I just don't like the way it looks.
No.
It looks very industrial, right?
Yeah, it feels a bit like Duplo compared to Lego. You know what I mean?
It's a good analogy. I like that. Yeah. I agree with that.
Anyway.
Yeah. Watch this space. Who knows? It might surprise us.
Might surprise some people. Let's see. Let it start rolling out to customers. We'll see.
Exactly. All right. Next we have the shout out.
Ricardo.
You take control here.
Yeah, Ricardo. Okay, just want to give a quick shout out to Ricardo. I mean, look at that stance. This has to be one of the best, if not the best, street rider in the UK that I've ever ridden with. His name is called Ricardo.
Big words.
Yeah. Look, that, and he's riding an 84-volt MSX. 84-volt. That is old school. Do you see the way he just leaped over that?
Yeah.
And
straight over the whole curve.
He's cutting out in about 5 seconds.
No, but the thing is, he knows though. That's the thing. I mean, look at that stance. This is so. Look at that. His leg is, his positioning and the stance is. Yeah, he does this on a regular basis. So he now is one of our ambassador. E-Rides ambassador. So he now officially rides with E-Rides. And so look out for more content from Ricardo very soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Don't cut out Ricardo.
Don't call Ricardo. Call Ricardo.
Stay with us.
At that speed, I'm scared for him. Give us some armor, please. Jeez.
Yeah, I will. We have to, and some proper helmets as well.
Exactly that. Exactly
There
that.
you go.
Cool. Next. Oh, go on.
I was going to say this next one's really exciting. I mean, I'm excited about this. I definitely am.
So, you might recall. Exactly. You might recall that we did this in the last Wheel Talk. We had our competition for the Smartwatch, and the winner here is Speedy Kitty, who has released this video.
Oh my god.
Fantastic video, Speedy Kitty. So
Yeah,
watch
good
is
job.
winging its way to you.
It is across the sea, right?
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, love it. So,
and finally, we have more a bit of a somber tone, but got a little bit of a remembrance ride that happened today. With a couple of group riders for Daniel from Lazy Rolling, who sadly passed away. Would you like to say some words?
Yeah, very briefly. Daniel and I started to collaborate maybe nearly a year ago now. You've probably seen a couple of the e-rides, lazy rolling jackets that we sell. I approached Daniel of the idea to have a chest protector because we are mainly EUC. And even though we're quite a small company, he saw the potential and he was happy to do it and collaborate. But it went beyond that. Daniel became a mentor for me. A lot of advice, customer service, every single thing that we know right now, most of it probably came from Daniel and his advice. So it's really sad. But today the ride was organized by Tom, who is part of the Carve Electric UK, which I think was an awesome way to say bye to Daniel. Riding, doing what Daniel loves to do as well. And it was a very positive turnout. And I think it's the best way to remember Daniel because it was a very positive influence on everybody's lives. His jacket has saved a lot of people as a result of some of the construction. But yeah, I do miss him a lot. And rest in peace, Daniel.
And what a legacy to leave, saving people and making people safe, doing something they really love to do.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's close our thing there. Wheel Talk 7. Don't forget, if you go back through the video, you'll see all of our other e-ride socials up there. So if you want to follow us on Insta and all the other bits, all the information's, it's all there for you. And until then, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for all the latest news from e-rides.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys.
Take care.
Bye. Take care. Bye. Bye.